Hey guys, brief forward. I just put out a brand new analysis daily video, and yes, it's Pony, and yes, Brony Analysis and Review still very much need your love and support. Please go check out a link to that channel in the description. Here's an annotation, or as you can clearly see, it's right here on my main channel if you follow this. With even more recent people having less and less time for Brony Analysis and Review, I'll continue to do my best to do my part to make the analysis community as accessible as possible. Thank you. I've literally written this script 3 times, and I can honestly tell you, I think any incarnation of my thoughts and feelings would be valid, in some degree different. I can only assume if you asked about this episode later on, Dave Polsky would state that Hasbro hindered his original vision, despite the fact that many writers were able to deliver great episodes in Season 5 with Hasbro looking over their shoulders and dictating the final product. Simply put, Dave Polsky is unable anymore to deliver the magic half of Friendship is Magic. Being totally fair, I think this is better than his abortion of Appaloosa's Most Wanted from last season. You can find my thoughts on that turd in the description as well as an annotation here. The product I've just consumed is a familiar one, but one I'm far more familiar with from another company, that one being called Blizzard. This is going to be relevant, so bear with me. There's a game called Diablo 3, and its main staying power after long since beating the game and fulfilling all the goals, is to put you on a treadmill and dangling more levels and better gear with no end in sight. It's a hamster wheel. It's a smaller, cheaper model than a game you are much more likely familiar with called World of Warcraft. While I'm more familiar with the former than the latter, you're kept on board by the anticipation, and that's what the theme of this episode is, as well as the premiere. But just to be perfectly clear, I really like The Gift of Maud Pie. If you want my thoughts on that episode, you should go check back on British Ninja's video here, or in the description. I didn't work on that video in any way, but he summed up the whole matter nicely for the time being, and I'm going to focus on this now because it's a bit more important to me. For 5 seasons, we had a series of promises with story arcs coming to an end, and for me, one of the most important, and I imagine for many of you, the CMC getting their cutie marks, we all lost our minds together, for the most part. We had a couple of months to build up our hype and to see what would happen next. Unfortunately, by the time we hear in this episode, We'll Never Be the Same, it rings hollow because the CMC go from confused teenagers without cutie marks to be confused teenagers with cutie marks. In Season 6, Dave Polsky will be dusted off again and given another CMC episode where he will botch one or more of the CMC. Instead of having all 3 entirely interchangeable like he did with Appaloosa's Most Wanted, thankfully this time it was only Apple Bloom. We'll get back to that. I'm not saying this episode wasn't fun. Scootaloo fixating on bungee jumping seems like she's still every bit fixated on flying as ever, or at least the falling part. And I got a giggle out of Sweetie Belle here and there. The idea that Apple Bloom needed to be with her friends and not by herself, even though she acknowledged she didn't need to be, comes off as party of one with a more self-aware Pinky, right down to Apple Bloom's mental break literally taking the whole of 1 minute. I've been told by my contemporaries using the term rushed is a lazy analysis tool. But what the fuck am I supposed to call an introduction and resolving a problem in 60 seconds? I hope you didn't blink. And speaking of not blinking, let's introduce a brand new character late in the episode with no prior backstory, so by the time he gets his cutie mark, not only do I not care, I can't be bothered to remember his name. I think he at least got a whole of 5 minutes this time. The season premiere dangles anticipation in front of us, but that's been the formula for at least 3 seasons. My problem with this episode, it literally has no balls. The episode trades on now for the future. A veteran gambler knows the future is a sucker's bet. When you can have something now, why wait? And while I feel I could have stopped here, it wouldn't be fair not to talk about what old Dave could have done better. Not needing to do all things together and still be friends, if done properly, could have carried a whole episode. Let's be serious, that's gotten Pinky written all over it. They could have had a second episode with Moondancer from Amending Fences, with Twilight perhaps trying too hard to make up for the past and Moondancer having to tell her simply that she needs her space. Not needing to do all things together and still be friends, hell, even family, could have been an Applejack and Apple Bloom episode. If you wanted a super insane, bold idea, you could have gone with an episode where Celestia is trying to bond with Luna and learn that lesson at the end. No, really imagine this for a second. Night and day, learning they don't need to do the same things and can still be friends. Right here, this lesson is just being thrown on the floor as a random musing. And speaking of missed opportunities and random musings, during Apple Bloom's song, Diamond, Tiara, and Silver Spoons are getting along with new ponies in the background. and Apple Bloom is all alone. Oh my god, that just happened. There was literally 10 whole minutes left in the episode when this happened. How cool would it have been had they spent 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 5 minutes with Apple Bloom being friends with DT and Silver Spoons? Positives I can take away from this episode: anticipation that after 5 years we can hurry up and wait a little bit longer. For what? I guess for no good reason. See you next time.